COVID-19 outbreak. Our most loving God, who gives us life and the means to sustain it, who grants this life to be used in the service of creation, and especially of humankind, we humbly come before you today, saddened and afraid by the condition of the world and your children. We find ourselves in the midst of this menacing virus that is causing illness and death of already a large number of our brothers and sisters. We are frightened and helpless as we confront this unknown disease that stalks and threatens the world, our country, our city, our lives, and our livelihood. We Baganhonans are greatly alarmed for ourselves, our families, friends, and our fellow man in and out of the country. We are greatly worried that this very unfortunate event would disrupt the services we render, services for people in need. With all humility, we now call on your love and kindness and mercy to allow the earliest discovery of the medicine that would alleviate and cure those afflicted by COVID-19. We pray for our leaders to be always wise in the decisions they make for all of us in these trying times. We pray especially for our health and medical professionals and service providers to be granted physical endurance, patience, and compassion to face and help those in need. We call on you to grant us good health and courage to face these days' challenges, always praying and helping in every way we can. In the most powerful name of Jesus, your Son, please hear us. Mary, help of Christians, pray for us. Saint Joseph, pray for us. Saint John the Baptist, pray for us. All angels and saints, pray for us. Amen.
Matutuwa kauswagan sa sikatao. Matutuot na negosyanon, isa katao na mabigalang taon. Sa punadang Tuhan dati sakripisyo, pagbulikan, paghigain, paghigugmag, dapat maghari. Para sa kauswagan sa sikatao.
On November 5, 1898, the Bagonons had left an indelible mark in the history of Negros Island and the Philippines. El 5 de Noviembre was a day when the Negrenses were freed from the 300 years of Spanish oppression without bloodshed. This was dubbed as a historical bluff, as it is accounted that the Spanish authorities in Bacolod capitulated after seeing the advancing troops from the southern Negros armed with rifles and cannons, which in truth were actually nipa stalks and rolled sawali mats painted in black. This year, 2020, marks the 122nd celebration of Bagonhon bravery and ingenuity, and in the present pandemic, the city government of Bago, in its commitment in the fight against COVID-19, has opted for the new normal commemoration of El 5 de Noviembre. The safest way for Bagonhons and Negrenses to feel the spirit of our fiesta is to bring the celebration right at their homes through the social media platform. All our events for today can be enjoyed at the click of your fingertips, as aired via the official Facebook page of the LGU, the City Bridge. From our online mass and simple wreath-laying ceremony earlier and up to this virtual edition of El 5 de Noviembre Millenials Perspective. The Millenials Perspective is an advocacy of educating our young minds on the essence of El 5 de Noviembre and to pass on the legacy of General Juan Araneta and his Bagonhon troops for the next generation. Being the home of historical and natural treasures, we envision Bago City years from now as a hub of the rich history and culture not only of Bagonhons but also of Negrenses. We can only achieve this if we start nourishing and invoking in the hearts of the millennials the so-called pride of place. Today, we may not have the usual fanfare for our fiesta, but allow us to complete this historical holiday with a virtual El 5 de Noviembre celebration. We may miss the booming of our cannons in the sigabong ng mga kanyon, but with our fervent prayers, the Almighty will heal our land and put an end soon to this pandemic. Nevertheless, my greetings for my city and for all of Negros. May we all have a happy and safe 122nd celebration of El 5 de Noviembre. Happy Negros Day all!
Happy 122nd El 5 de Noviembre. Today we give tribute to our local hero, General Juan Araneta, the brave Bagonhon farm workers who formed his troops and had marched up to Bacolod City. As accounted in our history, the Spaniards surrendered with the collaboration of both the northern and southern forces of Negros without a single shot fired. This, we believe, is very significant for every Bagonhon and Negrenses to know, and this is the reason why Bago City had embarked on educating our young minds on the pillars of our city's history. The El 5 de Noviembre Millenials Perspective was the product of our desire to pass on our heritage of being the forerunners of the bloodless revolution on the 5th of November 1898 to the next generation. This is an online event that is a venue for teaching the millennials our local history and the heroism of General Juan Araneta in a manner that would be easy for them to absorb and in the medium that they are most familiar with, the social media. So this year and in the times of the pandemic, we would like to ensure that there is still this widespread cultural relay of the historical bluff that freed Negros. At the same time would like to make sure that it will be compliant as to COVID-19 health protocols. On behalf of your City Council, we wish for all to have a safe commemoration of Al Cinco de Noviembre. Our beloved Bagonhons, always be assured that your LGU is strongly supportive of our cultural and historical programs, making true to our tagline, is the home of historical and natural treasures.
History is replete with stories of wars, losses, and victories, but seldom we hear of bloodless uprising won by revolutionaries carrying fake firearms out of nipa stalks and cannons of bamboo mats, of gaining victory with a bluff. The patriotism, bravery, and courage of General Juan Araneta, General Aniceto Lacson, and the thousands of Negrenses who fought for our freedom that fateful Cinco de Noviembre is a story that is truly and solely Negrense. After our victory and freedom were secured in the most ingenious and courageous manner in 1898, we remain proud and resolutely grateful of what the heroes of Cinco de Noviembre did in the face of a seemingly impossible situation. Right now, we are again in the middle of a war, not against conquistadores, but against an unseen and novel enemy, the COVID-19. This time, we are fighting together with the entire humanity. Today, we are called not to rise up in arms, but to fight in an entirely new manner. The virus seeks nothing but to multiply and destroy, and it is relative upon us how to break its spread and chain of transmission. For the fight to be successful, we are called upon to exercise utmost self-restraint, diligence, and discipline. As your governor, it is my fervent hope that as we commemorate the victories of our past, may we find renewed meaning, resolve, and inspiration to unite and work together to achieve our common goal as a people, that is, to defeat the threat of COVID-19, not just to our freedom, but to our very existence. Despite the pandemic, November 5 remains to be a momentous and remarkable day for all of us. Happy Cinco de Noviembre. May God continue to bless and favor Negros Occidental in all our battles. Avance, Negrense.
Maayong hapon sa inyo tanan. Congratulations, Bago City, and to all your heroes in the past and now, as you commemorate the 122nd year of your freedom from Spanish conquerors. The fascinating story of General Juan Araneta and his Bagonhon troops, which we commemorate today, Al Cinco de Noviembre, who bluffed their way for the enemy to surrender without shedding a single bullet, brings to mind timeless traits of true heroism. As we remember today, the valor of Tan Juan and his men to free all of you and us from colonial bondage, may I take this opportunity to remind especially our young Bagonhons of new kinds of bondages of invaders, which curtail us from living our lives to the fullest. Then, it was perhaps easier to fight the visible enemy of foreign invaders. Now, we fight different kinds of societal or even domestic violence. Now we fight against arrogance or complacency, corruption, or social ills like teenage pregnancies, or even apathy. As young Bagonhons, the future of your city lies in your hands. The creation of such future begins with yourselves. It is my hope that deep in your hearts, you all aspire to become heroes in your own right. Becoming a hero is not easy, but it is also not difficult. It asks you to build your character, the Bagonhon brand of heroism. So, how do you build your heroic character? First, decide what virtues you want to live in your life. Second, define what virtues or what those virtues mean for you. And third, come up with a strategy to start living them. I would like to thank your beloved, tireless, very energetic mayor, Mayor Nicolas Yulo, for the honor and blessing to be with you this afternoon. Mayor, your leadership is a hallmark of the Bagonhon hero, creative, courageous, and optimistic. May your tribe increase. I wish you all a joyful celebration and may God bless your wonderful city. When the sun finally rises, mapagod na tong si COVID. You are top of my bucket list. I hope to visit you soon. Maraming salamat po and keep safe. Go Bago tayo!
Honorable Mayor Nicolas M. Yulo and Vice Mayor Ramon D. Torres of the beautiful city of Bago, Governor Eugenio Jose Lacson and Vice Governor Jeffrey Ferrer of the land of sweet surprises, the province of Negros Occidental, Chief Operation Officer Antoinette Velasco Aliones of the Tourism Promotion Board, Sangguniang Panlalawigan and Sangguniang Panglunsod members and other local officials, private sector representatives, guests, online viewers, ladies and gentlemen, good day. Wherever you are now, we hope and pray that you and your family are safe and in the best of health. I want to congratulate the City of Bago through the Tourism Affairs Office of Bago City and its cultural arm, Balay ni San Juan Community Museum, represented by my friend, Mr. Clem del Castillo, Cultural Tourism Officer Designate. In paying tribute to the heroism of General Juan Araneta and portraying it in the Millenials Perspective in the best of both worlds celebration. Only culturally creative and creatively cultural minds can conceptualize and present this celebration through a series of activities that allows the teaching of local history and heroism designed to ensure that the legacy of El 5 de Noviembre will live with the next generations forever. As we reminisce and join Bagonhons in their cultural and historical journey, let us not forget to awaken the heroism among each of us and inside each one of us, especially in this time of COVID-19 pandemic. Keep safe, stay healthy everyone, Thank you and good day.
Mabuhay! Hiling namin kay nasa maayos na kalagayan at mabuting kalusugan.
Sa kabila ng ating nararanasan na pandemya, sana'y ang kaligayahan at diwa ng pagdiriwang ng ating kasaysayan ay manatiling may puwang sa puso ng bawat negrenseng mamamayan.
Mula sa padayon, the NCSA Hour, isang masigabong pagdiriwang ng Al 5 de Nobyembre.
Padayon!
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Hiling ko ay nasa mabuting kalagayan ang bawat isa sa inyo. Sa kabila ng hinaranas at hinaharap nating mga hamon dulot ng pandemya, ipinaaabot namin ang aming mainit na pagbati at paghanga sa inyong patuloy na pagbibigay halaga at panahon upang lingunin at ipagdiwang ang isa sa makabuluhang bahagi di lamang ng negrenseng kasaysayan, kundi pati na rin ang Pilipinong kalinangan. Muli, isang mainit at masigabong pagbati sa inyong selebrasyon ng Al 5 de Nobyembre.
Masayang pagdiriwang ng ika-122 Al 5 de Nobyembre sa lungsod ng Bago at Happy Negros Day! Pagpatuloy po natin ang pagpapayaman ng kasaysayan, kultura at sining ng ating bayan sa pamamagitan ng pakikilahok sa programa na katulad nitong Al 5 de Nobyembre Millenials Perspective. Ako po si Lara Maiga ng Sagisag Kultura TV. Kita-kits po soon. Stay safe.
Ako ay Pilipino. Ako'y makatao, saan man makarating, sino man makapiling. Aangat ang galing, habang buhay, Filipino.
Welcome to all of our viewers here, across the country and around the world, to Bago City's commemoration of Al 5 de Nobyembre, an event close to the hearts of the Negrenses. No pandemic can stop us from celebrating this very special event that happened 122 years ago. This is the first time ever that Al 5 de Nobyembre goes virtual. The 2020 celebration focuses on the city's advocacy to reach out to the now generation through the Millenials Perspective. What you're about to witness are 3 events: vlog, rap, and spoken words made by the millennials for themselves and for the future generations, carrying the message of Al 5 de Nobyembre.
It's the 5th of November 2020, and Bago City once more will celebrate the events of 5 de Nobyembre. It's 122 years ago, but still, Bago City commemorates it because of its importance. 5 de Nobyembre is the only time Negros has been united. And even just for that thought, we should always celebrate 5 de Nobyembre. 5 de Nobyembre brings heroism to us and patriotism to us. Lest we forget them, we should always celebrate it. Bago City has been celebrating for the past 100 years or so the 5 de Nobyembre. And then, to be sure, we've come up with Millennial Perspective so that the story of 5 de Nobyembre will always be passed on to generations and generations. It is told in their own words and in their own terms, in their own forms. This millennial perspective comes to mind rap, spoken words, vlog, and maybe even stage and drama. But this year, because of the pandemic, we only have three things. We have the vlog, we have rap, and we have the spoken words, all in the virtual world because of the pandemic. The millennial perspective was so designed so that generations to come, they will never forget 5 de Noviembre and the story of the Negrense heroes, especially in Bago with General Juan Araneta. Thank you.
Spoken Words Poetry. The Spoken Words Poetry is a competition between representatives coming from the different Bago City high schools. The output of the poetry writing session shall compose of at least 80% of the final piece to be performed during the actual competition. Guidelines of the spoken words poetry are as follows. Only one contestant per school, although a duo may be allowed if the piece was written by two individuals in tandem. Group performance is not allowed. The poetry piece shall be personally written by the contestant at a predetermined specific date by the organizers. Only the contestant who wrote the piece may perform the entry during the final competition. The piece shall revolve around the theme, Looking Back, 5 November 1898. Contest piece must be in Hiligaynon, though Tagalog, English, and mixture of both may be incorporated to the contest piece. The poetry shall be written in spoken words style, not measured, and or may not contain rhyming lines. Hand props are allowed. Costumes related to the performance may be used. The final output shall be submitted through USB to the Tourism Affairs Office on or before October 30, 2020. The Tourism Office will download the file and return the USB device. Upon submission, in order for the entry to be valid, a video release form shall be signed by the contestant.
Criteria for judging spoken words poetry. Adherence to the theme, 40%. Creative use of vocabulary, 20%. Performance, 40%. For a total of 100%.
Our judges for the spoken words poetry. Our first judge is a rap artist, record producer, composer, music arranger, and a member of the Bacolod Soul Jazz Rap Group. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jared Perenio Guasena. Our second judge is a theater artist, stage and film actress, and an arts manager and cultural organizer. She is currently the executive director of the Negros Museum and director of the Artists Hub / Culture and Arts program of the University of St. LaSalle, Bacolod. She handles artistic direction for the USLS Mascara Theater Ensemble, Sacred Heart Seminary's Teatro Linganay, and the Performance Laboratory Incorporated, a theater company which she founded in 2002. She co-founded the Teatrocon, West Visayas Theater Network, and West Visayas Association of Museums, and is festival director of the Curis Theater Festival and Cine Negrense, Negros Island Film Festival. She is a member of Women Playwrights International Philippines, San Telmo Writers Group, and a former member of the NCCA Committee on Dramatic Arts. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Tanya Lopez. Our third judge is the artistic director of the Cagayan Dance Troupe and Performing Arts of the Colegio de San Agustin, Bacolod. He is the current president of Teatrocon, the West Visayas Theater Network, former executive committee member, Committee on Dramatic Arts, National Commission for Culture and the Arts in the years 2001 to 2007, Philippine representative, 2017 and 2019 Thailand International Mass Festival and 2018 Jinju International Mass Dance and Theater Festival held in South Korea. 2019 Outstanding Negrosanon for Arts and Culture, Province of Negros Occidental. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chairman of the Board of Judges, Mr. Rodolfo M. Riveche.
Nadumduman nyo pabalaayan sang kitaging pakagbato sang aton bayani nga sa General Juan? Basi wala na, kayong ginapanumdum nyo ya kung paano kamo nagkakilala. Pero, aton balikan, ang aton kadalagan, niya ha. Hindi ang ex mo nga ginsakit ka lang. Pero tama na niya nga katsitsian. Ato na pag-aistoryahan, 5 sang Nobyembre, 1800 8 ang adlaw kung saan o napalayo ta sa katalagman, nga ginpangunahan sa wala na iban nga si Tan Juan. Kaupod sang iya mga soldado kagingamit nila ang ila kaisog. Ang ila kaisog ka nagluwas sa aton nga tanan. Kagsang ginsakop ang aton puloy-an? Hindi ka mo mga subo, kay dito nagwa ang ila kaalam. Ang ila kaalam para himuon ng mga armas. Ang mga armas nga nagbutang saton sa kadalagan. Kadalagan nga gin kalipay gid sang tanan. Kagbangod sa aton kadalagan. Ay 5 de Nobyembre, aton nangin kapistahan. Di, kabalo na kamo? Amo na, ay 5 de Nobyembre, dapat tagid pagahiwaton nga tanan. Biskan may pandemya pa kita nga ginaatubang, wala gid may makapugong sa aton nga mga bagunhon nga mga salawayon. Di, pasugot lang ka muna. Kung hindi, amo na, dapat baguhon tagid ang aton pamatasan, nga daw nipa nga tabi nila hindi na mapuslan, pero ginkahadlokan gid sang tanan. Boom! Sigabong! Sa kanyon nga nagasimbolo sa aton nga biskan ano kapigadohon, kita gid nagabangon. Boom! Sigabong! Sa kanyon nga nagarepresentar sang kaisog kag kaalam sang aton mga katigulangan. Nga karon, ginapasalamatan gid sa pareho ko nga kabataan. Ti, ano pa ginahulat nyo? Ipabugal na nga kamo tagabago. Kagbangod sa katawhayan nga naagom sang tanan. Mangunguma kag manugtapas dako man ang naangkon nga kalipayan. Mangunguma kag manugtapas nga dapat taman pagpasidunggan. Sa pagpasanyog sang dungang manggad, humalinsad to hasta sa karon ilagit kintipigan. Mga utod, kita gid magasulong, biskan sa madulom nga dalanon. Ay 5 de Nobyembre, aton gid pagahiwaton. Dapat tagid pasalamatan General Juan Anacleto Araneta, kay iya kita ginbuligan.
Ako, si Rovelyn Berrio, nag-eskwela sa Bago City Senior High School Stand-Alone. Amo ini ang akong spoken word poetry, Looking Back. Aton balikan ang kasaysayan nga naghalin sa ngalan ni Lodi Tan Juan. Si Lodi Tan Juan, isa lamang ka-ordinaryong nga tao nga nakipagbato para sa aton nga mga tagabago. Tungod sa iya kaalam, siya nakahimo sang plano nga petmano. Kaupod sang iya katapo, sila nagpadulong didto. nanginhanda sa pagabot sa mga Kastila, wala nagapang duha-duha biskan ang baylo, amo ang kabuhit nila. Kag ila ginhimo ang tanan para sa tagsa-tagsa kag sa kalwayan sang aton banwa. Sila nagmarcha, dala ang kanyo nila tungod sa kakulba sang kontra. Sila nag-istoryanay nga duwa. Pagkatapos gimpirmahan ang sedula, ginwagayway ang aton bandera bilang tanda nga kita hilway na. Wala na sang kabuhi nga magsugal pa. Wala na sang Kastila ang maghatag kagamo sa aton banwa. Hindi nanginhapos ang tanan, pero ila ini ginpanindugan. Al 5 di Nobyembre, kita nagaselebrar sa kapistahan ni Lodi Tanuan. Saksi ang mga tao nga nagalantaw sa kilid dalan, sari-sari nga kanyon ang imo mabatian, ginarepresentar sang kada barangay. Kung aton balikan ang tanan, tama gid kabudlay ang ila na agyan. Pero tungod kay Lodi Tanuan, kita may kahilwayan. Aton makita nga nagbago na ang tanan, gani salamat man kay Yorme. Sa pagselebrar sini nga kapistahan, hindi lang kanyon ang imo malantawan. Madamo ka makitaan nga naga-exo-exo kag naga-cellphone sa kilidalan. Ang pinakamanami sa tanan, amo ang fundre kag babaylan. Si Wangga kag si Wanggo kaupod sa paglagaw namon. May mga tao gidyang isaon. Kay kung makakita lang sa maguyabay, tani, sana all. Pero, tungod sa coronavirus, tanan natapos. Ang ligad nga puno sang tawo, subong, nagbago. Kinanglan mo na magdistansya sa imong isig kapareho para malikaw sa delikado. Sa ini nga pandemya, sakit ang iya dala. Importante nga maghalong kita tungod hindi makita ang aton kontra. Gani, hindi mo na pag-ipilit na maglagaw ka kay base sa pagpuli mo, sakit ang imo dala. Panibago na naman nga problema. Gani, sa ini nga panyempo, kinanglan kita mag-isa. Para malikaw sa disgrasya, hatag ka, distansya. Hindi na mabulag pa nga mabiktima ka, kay tungod wala pa bakuna. Isa lang ang atong tandaan. Tanan may katapusan. Gani sa liwat atong masaksihan. Gani ano pang ginaulat mo? Arat na!
Due to some minor technical problems, we will proceed to our next event, which is the Millennial Rap.
And now for the Millennials Perspective Guidelines. Millennial Rap. The Millennial Rap is a competition between representatives coming from the different Bago City high schools. The rap piece shall be written and performed on any location with proper health protocols. The output of the rap writing session shall compose of at least 80% of the final plays to be performed during the actual competition. Guidelines of the Millennial Rap are as follows. Only one contestant per school. The rap piece shall be personally written by the contestant. Only the contestant who wrote the piece must perform the entry. The piece shall revolve around the theme, Looking Back, 5 November 1898. Contest piece must be in Hiligaynon, Filipino, English, or mixed. Background beats may be used in the final performance while beatboxing backups are allowed. No backup performers may use words to augment the contestant's piece. The final output shall be submitted through USB to the Tourism Affairs Office on or before October 30, 2020. The Tourism Office will download the file and return the USB device. Upon submission, in order for the entry to be valid, a video release form shall be signed by the contestant.
Criteria for judging. Millennial Rap. Adherence to the theme, 40%. Creative use of vocabulary, 20%. Performance, 40%. For a total of 100%.
Our judges for the rap competition. Our first judge is a rap artist, record producer, composer, music arranger, and a member of the Bacolod Soul Jazz Rap Group. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jared Pareño Guasena. Our second judge is a theater artist, stage and film actress, and an arts manager and cultural organizer. She is currently the executive director of the Negros Museum and director of the Artists Hub / Culture and Arts program of the University of St. LaSalle, Bacolod. She handles artistic direction for the USLS Mascara Theater Ensemble, Sacred Heart Seminary's Teatro Linganay, and the Performance Laboratory Incorporated, a theater company which she founded in 2002. She co-founded the Teatrocon, West Visayas Theater Network, and West Visayas Association of Museums, and is festival director of the Curis Theater Festival and Cine Negrense, Negros Island Film Festival. She is a member of Women Playwrights International Philippines, San Telmo Writers Group, and a former member of the NCCA Committee on Dramatic Arts. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Tanya Lopez. Our third judge is the artistic director of the Cagayon Dance Troupe and Performing Arts of the Colegio de San Agustin, Bacolod. He is the current president of Teatrocon, West Visayas Theater Network, former executive committee member, Committee on Dramatic Arts, National Commission for Culture and the Arts in the years 2001 to 2007. Philippine representative, 2017 and 2019 Thailand International Mass Festival and 2018 Jinju International Mass Dance and Theater Festival held in South Korea. 2019 Outstanding Negrosanon for Arts and Culture, Province of Negros Occidental. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chairman of the Board of Judges, Mr. Rodolfo M. Riveche.
Dali kag makari, tiris nga Bago City. Upod mga barkada, magalagaw sa gabi. Dala ang kamera, kag mag-selfie-selfie. Kag mag-celebrar sang 5 de Nobyembre. Dali kag makari, diri sa Bago City. Upod mga barkada, magalagaw sa gabi. Dala ang kamera, kag mag-selfie-selfie. Kag mag-celebrar sang 5 de Nobyembre. Yeah, Atong buksan, libro sa kasaysayan, kag balikan. Maisog ang batasan, balikon, larawan, nagligid ang panahon. Inagyan sa katigulangan na. Silagin sinulan, ginpasang gitan, gindaog-daog, ginpanghimutan. Iladigdidan, gitapak-tapak, gintuaan, ng matarong sa kalutaan. Sa kamot, sang Kastila, sila naghantos, gid sang tuman. Madapos ang nalitan na dulaan sa paglawag na sila. Makaamot, katibayan niya dahil. Galing sa sang pagpangdaog-daog, duwa ka tao. Sa ila nagtitog, sila nag-isog, kag nagpapasok, katawhayan sa negros, sila gidaog. Dali kag magkari, diri sa Bago City. Upod mga barkada, magalagaw sa gabi. Dala ang kamera, kag mag-selfie-selfie. Kag mag-celebrar sa 5 de Nobyembre. Anisito, lakso, Juan Araneta, mga maisog kabalag nga mga tinuwag. Nanguna sa paklas sa Kastila, ilaginhang patag sa kakasiman. Sa tabok sila, nagdiwon-diwon, naghimusang, isa ka rebelyon. Abot na puson ang di agwanta na sitwasyon sa kabuy nato. Sa nag-abot ang tinimon, ang tanan nagtipon-tipon. Ululupod niya nagmarsa padulong sa handog, kahilwayan sa mga dumulo. Dali kag magkari, diri sa Bago City. Upod mga barkada, magalagaw sa gabi. Dala ang kamera, kag mag-selfie-selfie. Kag mag-celebrar sa 5 de Nobyembre. Nagmando pa mo, sila nagpaglakad. Halindi na pala, pakadto sa bago. Dala mga arakas na naghalin sa bulong. Nga kanil amahan, ngagin pang rolo. Ngagin padala sa kabakagkaro. Sa pag-abot, sa suba sang lupit. Nakita sa Kastila ang ila pagpalapit. Nagpruba sa kapumat, nga himpit. Kaya wala mag-ibalahan, motibo sa katawan. Sila leon, sila nagpakigsugilan. Nga sila mahula, sa ubar sa mga idol. Sila nagpasawan sa pag-abot sa kaagaw. Sila nagsuka sa kamot sa pag-unod. Abot malikawan, ahat nga kamatay. Sila nagpromesa sa isang kasulatan. Nga ang pagpamimos nila nagautatan. Dali kag magkari, diri sa Bago City. Upod mga barkada, magalagaw sa gabi. Dala ang kamera, kag mag-selfie-selfie. Kag mag-celebrar sa 5 de Nobyembre. Amuyan ang aton gidlaganan, amuyan ang aton kadalagan. Kahilwayan ang liwat, naton makamdan. Kahilwayan ang liwat, naton makamdan. Tungod sa paganingan, mga maisog, maharap ng mga tinugyanan. Ang ilan inimuan, hindi gid malipatan. Ang ilan inimuan, hindi gid maglipatan. Gani mga kasimanwa, kita mag-isa, maghili-husa, magari kita sa aton banwa. Upod mga barkada, pagkapamilya. Kita magsilibrar sa 5 de Nobyembre. Sa kita, kag mang libre. Kita magsilibrar sa 5 de Nobyembre. Sa kag mang libre. Dali kag magkari, diri sa Bago City. Upod mga barkada, magalagaw sa gabi. Dala ang kamera, kag mag-selfie-selfie. Kag mag-celebrar
1998, always remember everything. Kita tanan nakipagbato ang Espanyol latong hinhante. Gusto nila sa kuko ng syudad nato nga bago. Hindi nila mahimo kay kita determinado nga makipagbato para sa atong syudad upod atong nga bayani. Kung si General Juan may isog kag maalam, kaginhimo ang tanan. Para aton ipabalungan Negrosanon, may iso kagaton ipakita kita tanang pertika baso nga handa kita mapatay para sa atong syudad. Miski ano ilahi mo hindi ta nila mapaatas kay kita makipagbato hasta sa atong kamatayon kay kita purong Negrosanon. Para sa syudad nga bago kita tanan nagbato upod ang aton bayani. Wala kita nag-atras, wala kita nasupo, kay kita tanan nagbato. Ginapagbato ta ang syudad nga aton ginahalungan, upod ang aton nga bayani, nga si General Juan. Sa natabong ang gera dapat nato respeton. Si General Juan nakipagbato para sa atong ginhimuyagitan ng para kita magadaog sa Espanyol. Nga pratika bakod wala ya, ni pamisa ko ano ang matabo. Ang gusto yun lang ang bago aton ipagbato sa mga Espanyol nga gusto gidyang mangguba. Gusto nila sa kuko ng syudad nga pinalangi pero si General Juan yung gamit ang kaalamon. Nagimusa sa ama kasing madamo nga kanyon. Gibutang sa kariton kag initanan. Iyaging pintahan itom. Para ilang nga mabalaan nga Negrosanon, may iso kagaton ipakita aton armas mga mabasko kag tanan nga Espanyol, tanan sila nagpati mawala sila. Kabalutan ng iniging piki lang kung naristo man tatanan sa Espanyol nga pati kadamo. Pero atong kaalamon hindi nila masupo kay kita nga Negrosanon isog aton nga dugo bisang kita mapruden na pilita Japon nga nagbato. Para sa syudad nga bago kita tanan nagbato upod ang aton bayani. Wala kita nag-atras, kay kita tanan nagbato. Ginapagbato ta ang syudad nga aton ginahalungan, upod ang aton nga bayani, nga si General Juan. Pagkatapos ang gera nagtaway na ang tanan nabawi naton ang bakolod nagbaguna ang tanan nagtatakna sa hunahuna sa mga Negrosanon. Ang pagkabayani ni Tanuan dapat na respetuhon kay nasulat na sa libro ang tanan nga natabo sa banwa kag syudad sa bago tanan kita kahibalo ko nga agi na silibrar ang adlaw sing al 5 di Nobyembre. Para sa syudad nga bago kita tanan nagbato upod ang aton bayani. Wala kita nag-atras, wala kita nasupo, kay kita tanan nagbato. Ginapagbato ta ang syudad nga aton ginahalungan, upod ang aton nga bayani, nga si General Juan.
O salamat sa inyo, Negrosanon malaya na tayo. Nobyembre 5, kaya ay na kami po panibagong gusto, kasaysayang Pilipino. Ang 5 de Nobyembre tuig 1898, madamo nga Negrosanon nagrevolusyon batok sa Espanyol nga kolonisasyon sa karon. Kit nga adlaw, Negros nagahinugyaw sa unang nga ilinawid bayluhan sa kasulhay mga bayani sila nang imatay kundi lang masakop pinalanggang nga probinsya diin kita nakabuhi kagasinadya. Gani naagom nila nga kahilwayan hasta subong aton kalipayan. O salamat sa inyo, Negrosanon malaya na tayo. Nobyembre 5, kaya ay nakakito panibagong yugto, kasaysayang Pilipino.
bago kami kasilibrar. Ikasimpo sa nutrensyo tuman, ka-espesyal ka na nagapamasa para magtaksihan. Sigabot sa mga kanyang tila, mabatian. Sari-sari ka sundan sa nagnos, nagatigay, sa piningan ni Tamo, hatuman at maratado. Ika sila na sinaranak sa kasaysay, nagahanap sa anong patungkot, yung kalipay. Hindi ka mo makatumiting, sa lugar ng ito, Gani, naagumila nga kahilwayan at tasubog aton kalipayan. Happy al 5 de Nobyembre!
For the Millennial Wrap, there will be 5 consolation prize winners of 1,000 pesos each, and all participants for this event will be given a certificate of participation. And now for the winners of the Millennial Wrap. Third place winner will receive a certificate and 2,000 pesos in cash. Congratulations to Christy Charm Landero. Second place winner will also receive a certificate and 3,000 pesos in cash. Second place goes to Ivy Duntad. Congratulations. Mag-greet ka na. Before I announce the champion, I would like to thank our judges for the spoken words and Millennial Rap. Mr. Jarrett of Bacolod Soul Jazz Rap Group, Ms. Tanya Lopez of the Negros Museum, and our chairman, Ms. Rodolfo Reveche.
Ngakon sa tanan, congratulations, Bago City.
And the first place winner, who will be receiving a certificate and 5,000 pesos in cash. Congratulations to Rachel Ann Melocoton. Before we proceed to the next event, let's have a recap of the wreath laying ceremony held earlier today at the monument of General 1 Anacleto Araneta. Roll VTR.
Happy al 5 de Noviembre to you all. 123 years ago, our forefathers, led by General Juan Anacleto Araneta, led the Negros Revolution.
We simplify the celebration, but we continue to amplify the benediction and enthusiasm to unite and together work for the attainment of the common good. We shall take inspiration from our ancestors and move forward to win this battle of our generation.
And now going back to our last entry for the spoken words poetry.
Sa subong nga panahon, atong pamatian ang mga hitabo na may katalagman. Istorya nga nagakaangay, ini ang maragtas sang puso. Samtang ako nagalakad nga isahanon lamang, nalabot ko ang duong sang dalanon nga akong ginlabyan. Ako nagpundo kag ako nakitaan ang isa ka monumento sa isa ka tao, isa ka bagalihan sa sinaunang na tiyempo. Napoblagi ako sa akong makita ang laragway nga nagpahukaw sa akong panghuna-huna. Ini nagpabalik sa akon sa maragtas sang pungsod sang ang tiyempo ginlikupan sa gera kag pag-ilinaway. Aton balikan ang mga pahanungdong sang nagliligad ng mga hitabo na hindi naton mahampan. Nagahambal sa aton sang istorya na makasaysayan amon sa hitabo na kung sayuron bago malag na tambuhanon. Nobyembre 5, 1898, tiyon sang hindi makuha-kuha nga kahilwayan. Mga Kastila, sa ilang mismo kita nagpaalila. Aton dignidad nga ilang tapak-tapakan, ginabuso ang aton ikasaran kag kapuslanan. Naluoy din ako sa sini nga kahintangan. Ang luha ko hindi makabulig sa bisan anong nga tabang. Ang kapulba nga nalaknat sa isa kag isa, sarang mahimo ang manago kag magpanakyo sa pamut sa mga manungangkon. Apang ini ang tiyon, nakis-anagin liko sang kadulong. Kadulong, naging sundan sang kasubo. Kasubo, kaangay sang kahawaan na puno sang panganon. Upang sa kalipayan sang aton mga kasimanwa kag mga utot. Aton nahibalan kung paano kita gintigos sa kasakit kaging bayolente. Biktima kita sang pagpang-alipusta kag pagpang-daog-daog. Apang may sadto nga mga tao nga nagpabilin nga mangin maiso. Oo, sila mga Negrense, nagapananaytay sa ila ang dugo sa mga mabakod. Ang kaakig sa aton na batsyagan, mga katilingban, magapakigbato sa oras ng katalagman, magaplano sa magaabot nga oras sa preparasyon nga pag-atlas. Ini nang imposible sa pag-isa ni Lacson kag ni Araneta. Sila namisog nga pamunuan ang aton nga isla. Amot sa silot sang mga konkistador nga abusado na katama. Gani sa pag-ugyo nila, kita makatibawas sa sining mabutlay kag marisko nga mga pagtilaw. Kita nag-apinay sa isa kag isa, mga mamumuma, tapasero, hasyendero kag mga hasyendera, handa mag-ugyon sa pakigbaka para sa kahilwayan sang tanan, kag sa kahilwayan sang aton kapungsuran. Kita nag-isa sa pagplano na nagtaybay sa aton sa sining hilikuton. Hilikuton na magagiya sa kalinong pagpaghinapay. Oo, komplikado, pero inidako nga bagay. Bagay na magatapos sa sining mga komosyon pagpaghinabay. Nobyembre 5, 1898, gamit ang nanalisari ng mga taktika sa gera, sila nagpakita sa wais na pamaagi. Ang ila pagkakonserbatibo, daogid na bulik, naghatag kahigayunan para mapabakod ang ating pagsalig. Mga kalalakinhan na may mga dalang abono at kung ano pa na mga kagamitan, matunog na sigabong sang kanyon na imitasyon lamang. Armado ng mga puwersa, bitbit ang rifle, kaangay sang pusil na nakalubog sa mga Kastila, naghatag sa tungan na pangan. Sa malayo na handa, ang ining senaryo, bunga lamang sa hindi matangatan na falsifikasyon. Tukoy sa sining na preparasyon, mga Kastila na kumbinsi para tapuson ang ining na kapitulasyon. Ang pinakauna na revolusyon sa ating probinsya, naghatag pasilungog sa pagpatindog sa Negros na Republika. Ini nagapahalungdong kaadlawan sa hindi matubog nga gyera, pero puno sa alaala. Ang Al-5 de Nobyembre, isa ka importante na komemorasyon sa aton historya. Giupod ang mga trabahante nga waay nga nagpakita sang ila makaya sa pag-ugyon ni General Lacson kag ni General Araneta, sarang naton makuha ang aton kahilwayan. Mga paganihan, tampad na magapabilin sa tagipusoon sa mga Negrense kag saktanan. Hindi matungkad na kalipay kag kahigayunan ang mapabatik ko ang mga tinaga sa lugar nga akong ginatindugan. Ini dapat ipabugal kag ibalandra sa bilog nga kalibutan ang tatak sang puloy-an nga aton gindak-an. Bilang isa ka kabataan, sarang naton mahimo nga tukibon ang istorya sang aton pungsod. Ini ang importansya nga magatudlo kung paano ang kahilwayan naton na amligan. Kuntani aton buksan ang aton nga mga mata kag palaparon ang aton mga panghuna-huna. Sa ila kita maghatag pagtahod kag pagsaludo, apang ang sinauna nga tiyempo among maragtas kag kontinuasyon sa panahon nga moderno.
All participants for the spoken words will each receive a certificate of participation, and aside from the 3 major winners, 5 entries will be chosen to receive consolation prizes of 1,000 pesos each. And now for the winners of our spoken words poetry. Third place goes to Abigail Salcedo. Our winner will receive a certificate and 2,000 pesos in cash. Congratulations. Moving on to our second place winner, receiving a certificate and 3,000 pesos in cash. Congratulations to Roveline Barrio. And now for the first place. The winner will receive a certificate and 5,000 pesos in cash. This year's champion for the spoken word is Patrick fucking King. Congratulations.
And now for the El 5 de Noviembre vlog competition guidelines. The vlog competition is open to all Negrenses, regardless of age, place of residence, and gender. The vlog must be centered on the theme, Looking Back, 5 November 1898. It could be shot using a recording device or gadget as long as the resolution is HD and must be in landscape orientation. No vertical videos are allowed unless a particular shot is used as an effect. Videos must be at least 5 minutes and a maximum of 7 minutes. There will be 5 consolation prizes of 2,000 pesos each. Major prizes are as follows. First place, 10,000 pesos. Second place, 7,000 pesos. And third place, 5,000 pesos. All who wish to join should submit the entry form posted at the Baguio City Tourism Affairs FB page within October 19 to 25, 2020 at tourismbago@yahoo.com. Deadline of the video is November 1, 2020 and it must be submitted with the video release form. The video must be in MP4 format. All entries must be submitted as a Google Drive link to tourismbago@yahoo.com. All winners will be live streamed on the official Facebook FB page of the City Bridge on November 5, 2020.
Criteria for judging. Vlog competition. Creative use of visuals, 20%. Content and accuracy of details about El 5 de Noviembre, 30%. Coherence to the theme, 25%. Overall production value, 25%, for a total of 100%.
Our judges for the vlog competition. Our first judge is a tourism photographer, Panat Negros documentarist, Metro Bacolod Chamber and Commerce event consultant, and a Visayan Daily Star contributing photographer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ronnie Baldonado. Our next judge is a holder of a bachelor's degree in computer engineering, master's degree in technology management, currently a computer programmer at the provincial government of Negros Occidental. She is the owner of FB page Lagawonder, which has a whopping 62,000 and more followers, and blogging since 2018, mostly related to travel and foods. She is an advocate of #SupportLocal, welfare of animals, protecting nature. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Abigail K. D. Pabular. Our third judge is a producer and program host of the multi-awarded program Tatak Negrense, station manager of DYAF CMN Bacolod 1143 kHz, and a cultural worker and advocate of Negrense history, culture, tourism, heritage, and arts. She is currently taking up doctorate in public administration at CAMSI Talisay City campus. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the Board of Judges, Ms. Chona Villaluna Goshauco.
Sa bulan sang Nobyembre, ako naglago sa Baguio City. Kaupod ang barkada, ako nagakare. Dala ang kamera para mag-selfie-selfie. Kag magsilibrar sang al 5 de Nobyembre.
Mayong adlaw sa inyong tanan. Ako si Joseph, nagyari kita subong diri sa pamuso nga landmark diri sa syudad sang Bago, ang statwa ni Tanuan. Kabalo ka bala kung si sino siya? Kabalo ka bala sa niya nga papel sa kasaysayan sa Isla San Negros? Kung wala, lantawa ang video nga ini. Kaibayin ko sa imo ang istorya sang kasaysayan sang Isla San Negros.
Aton danay unay baloon ang nahanungod sa daan nga pangalan sang Isla Sang Negros. Suno sa mga records, Buglas ang daan nga pangalan sang Isla Sang Negros. Ang tinaga nga Buglas, isa ka daan nga hiligaynon nga tinaga nga sayuron utdon o to cut off kung sa Ingles. Nga nang Negros ang tawag sa isla. Bangod ang mga nahaunang nga mga tao nga nagaistar sa isla, mayara sa mga maitom nga panit kag may kaugalingon kag pinasahi nga kultura. Sang Abril 1565, nagdungka ang mga dumulong Kastila sa isla, kag gintawag ini ang isla nga Negros. Bangod sa ila nga naobserbar nga ang mga tumandok diri may mga maitom nga panit.
Ote, nadugangan ng imong ibalo, yari pa ang mga dugang nga mga ihibalo sa imo tuhoy sa kasaysayan sang Negros.
Ang pinakanauna nga kapital sang probinsya amo ang Ilog. Inisang tuig 1743 tubtub 1795. Kag ini gimbuslan sang Himamaylan sang tuig 1795 tubtub 1849. Kag ang syudad sang Bacolod nanging kapital ini sang tuig 1849 tubtub sa karon.
Kabalo-bala ka mo nga ang isla sang Siquijor naging kabahin pa sang Negros Province. Sang tuig 1890, ang Negros inseparar sa duwa ka parte, ang Negros Occidental ug ang Negros Oriental. Naging kabahin ang Siquijor sa Negros Oriental ag naging sub-province ini. Sang tuig 1971, ang Siquijor nagsepara naman sa Negros Oriental. So kadto kita sa istorya para sa ila. Ano ang iyang papel sa maragtas sa Negros?
Sang Nobyembre 3 tubtub 6, 1898, natabo ang revolusyon sa tunga sa mga lokal nga revolusyonaryo sang Negros batok sa mga mananakop na Kastila. Mga 122 na katuig ang nakaligad tubtub sa karon. Ang ini nga pag-ibwal ging pakigbahinan sa mga Negrense revolutionaries ilabi na gid sanday General Anicito Lacson sang syudad sang Silay, upod sa kay Nicolas Goles bilang iya deputy commander sa bahin sang Northern Troops. Kag sanday General Juan Araneta sang syudad sang Bago, upod naman sini ang iya deputy commander na si Rafael Ramos sang Southern Troops.
Ang pag-ipuan sa mga local revolutionaries batok sa mga dumulong Kastila nangin madinalagod at naghatag sang kahilwayan sa probinsya batok sa Spanish control. Kag diri natukod ang isa ka Negros Republic. Ano ang natapos sa inaway? Paano naging madidalago ang mga Negrense? Ang Al-5 de Nobyembre, isa man ini sa pagdumdum sa isa ka pagpanginto o historic bluff nga naghilway sa Negros gikan sa mananakop na Kastila. Ang mga hangaway sang sur kag norte nga bahin sa Negros nag-ubra sa mga peke nga mga sandata kag kanyon nga nahuman sa ginlupot nga mga amakan kag gimpinturahan nga daw kaangay sang isa ka matudtuod nga armas kag kanyon kag sila amo ang nagpadulong sa syudad sang Bacolod para makipagbato sa Kastila apisar sa kakulba kag kahadlok nga ilang nabatyagan. Sang ila ini nakitaan nga nagapadulong ang mga hangaway ni General Lacson kag General Araneta nga maddamo nga mga armas kag mga kanyon ini sila nakulbaan kag bunga nga nagsurrender ang mga Kastila. Wala sang madinuguon nga gera ang natabo. Amo ina nga gintawag ang hitabo nga historic bluff. Kag sang Pebrero 10, 1989, gimpirmahan sang anay presidente sang Pilipinas, President Cory Aquino, ang Republic Act No. 6709 nga nagadeklarar sang Nobyembre 5 kada tuig bilang pagdumdum sa espesyal sa hitabo diri sa managtas sang isla sang Negros. Amo ina, kada Nobyembre 5 sa tagsa katuig, ginaselebrar naton ang Al-5 de Nobyembre. Sari-sari nga mga aktibidades bilang pagkumemorar sang kadalagan sang aton nga mga local heroes diri sa isla sang Negros. Oh, nakilala mo na siya? Kabay pa may nakuha ka mo sa sininga video. Sa liwat, ako si Joseph. Kita sa gasot na video. Paalam!
General Araneta, amo ang nagpanguna kaupod sa General Lacson nga iyarepa ang aton mga lodi pag-abot sa giyera pitmalu sa kaalam na intuan ng kontra.
Beautiful Bago City, booming Bago City, beautiful Bago City, home.
Hello mga ka-Korkor, good morning. Welcome sa Siyudad ng Bago. Kung sa diin, mayara sila tatlo kasilibasyon kada tuig. Amo ining babay ng festival sa Nuwan Bautista kag Al-5 de Nobyembre. Aton sa buong ibaluon kung nga ginaselebrar ang Al-5 de Nobyembre. Kagang Al-5 de Nobyembre ay kilala sa taga-Negrosanon kung sa diin ginahiwat ang revolusyon na wala sinuko o bloodless revolution. Kaya sa diri mismo nga lugar, una nga gigamitan sila sa rifle nga halin sa paklang sa lubig. Kag ang kanyon halin sa gimpilo nga amakan, kag impetahan sa itom nga pinta para maging matudtuod sa pananawan sa Espanyol. Kag amo ini pag-surrender sa Espanyol, pamuno ni Cedro de Castro. Yari kita subong sa likod ko ang reboto ni General Juan Araneta. Kung sa diin, siya nanguna sa pagmagsikan at pagtatag ng Republika ng Negros at kag nagtagapaglaya sa lugar sa Bacolod. Kaginbata siya sa July 13, 1852, diri mismo sa lugar sa siyudad sang Bago. Kag siya nakakuha sa titulo ng Perito Mercantil katumbas ng yung Bachelor Commercial sa Ateneo Municipal. Kag naging kapitan siya sa Bago Negros Occidental. Kag siya nagapauna bilang isa ka general sa hukbong pagimagsikan sa Timog Negros at naging komisyonado si General Araneta ng Pilipinas sa exposition sa St. Louis sa Amerika noong 1904.
Bagon homes unite for Bago City, shine and be all we can be. Give the world a...
Hello mga Korkor, yari kita subong sa guwas ng balay ni General Juan Anacleto Araneta o kung sa diin ginatawag nga balay ni Tanuan. So sila, tiri nag-i-star o put iya nga pamilya. Gani, of danyo ko, hibaloon kung ano bala sa sulod ibalay ni Tan Juan. Nakaka-core-core, si General Juan Anacleto Araneta ang muina ang paborito sa migrantes bilang bayani sang 1898. Kay iya kaupod si General Anacleto Lacson sa ila papanguna marcha, kaupod ang 10,000 nga senderos na tinaw pagkakto sa syudad sa Bacolod kag amo ini pag-surrender sa Spaniard Governor na si Isidro de Castro. Base sa mga katigulangan, may ara dira sa sulod sa balay ni Tan Juan or ang pamilya sang Araneta sa mga antik nga mga gamit. Kag may ara dira sa matahong nga concave stairs sa kaudiin gimbuhat ini sang 19th century. Kag akong nga nabalaan, may ara dira sa flag sang Negros, kako sa diin si General Juan Araneta amo nagdisenyo. Kag sa amo ini nga panimalay, ginulaan sang kabuhi si General Juan A. Araneta sa October 3, 1924. Kag amo ini nitawagan landmark o museum of Tan Juan diri sa siyudad sang Bago.
Ako ay Pilipino, ang dugo'y mahalikat. Likas sa aking puso at hikain kay ganda sa Pilipinas na aking bayan, lantay na perlas ng silanganan. Ako ay Pilipino, ako ay Pilipino, isang bansa, isang diwa ang minimithi ko. Sa bayang bot
Amo ini ang rason kung nga nagaselebrar ang taga Bago City kag taga Negros Sanon sa El 5 de Nobyembre. Proud Bago non, proud Negros Sanon, go Bago! Malipayan nga selebrasyon sa ikasyen 22 sa El 5 de Nobyembre sa siyudad sa Bago ang gipamunuan ni General Anacleto Araneta. Gani ako si Aljon M. Magno, the proud LGBT sa Pontevedra.
Beautiful Bago City, home of natural treasures and history. Go Bago, home of champions and double brave. Go Bago, dance in the
Hey yo, Lacocheras, it's me again, Sky, your Lacochera of today. But first, we will travel back in time. I would like to welcome you to my hometown, Bago City.
Bago City is known for home of historical and natural treasures, for it showcases many picturesque views such as Pataan Falls, Kipad Twin Falls, Buenos Aires Mountain Resort, and there's so much more to offer. Lacocheras, we are now here in a place that we can't ever imagine that we can find along the streets of Bago City. It is located just along the compound of an ancestral house of our local hero known as General Juan Araneta. Who is he? Let's go back to this clip.
In early morning of that day, November 5, 1898, General Juan Araneta of Bago City led his army to march towards Bacolod City, the seat of Spanish government in the island of Negros. Let's try to visit one of the most historic sites here in Bago, the Balay ni Tan Juan. Since the early 20th century, the Bagonhons referred to General Juan Araneta's house as Balay ni Tan Juan. In 1906, the general acquired the house from his niece and lived in the house until his death in 1924. The family eventually donated the house to the city of Bago, which turned the house into a museum. It was established as the General Juan Araneta Residence and Landmark Museum. Tan Juan, or General Juan Anacleto Araneta, was a revolutionary leader who fought against the Spaniards when they occupied the island of Negros. Hundreds of men carried rifles made of wood and coconut fronds and pushed carabao carts loaded with canyons rolled out of sawali, or locally known as amakan. This bloodless revolution is called El 5 de Noviembre.
My hometown celebrates two festivals. First is the Babaylan Festival and the second one is El 5 de Noviembre, or locally known as Sigabong sang mga Kanyon. It reminisces the bloodless revolution that was been led by my great-great-grandfather, which is General Juan Anacleto Araneta. And they uses the hundreds of men carried fake rifles, and it is made by woods and coconut fronds, as well as for the fake canyons, where they uses rolled sawali, or also known as amakan. So this is one of the replica that we can find here in my hometown.
In Bago City, a celebration known locally as Sigabong sang mga Kanyon, or loud explosions of the canyons. It is held by the city government to reminisce the revolution of Bagueños and Negrenses to gain independence from Spain. That's how we called it bloodless revolution, because gumamit lamang po tayo or ang aking lolo ng peking kanyon at mga armas.
Since the revolution, our life has been meaningful, which our ancestors fought for the people, fought for the lives that we deserve. Now is the time for us to learn, appreciate, and give value for the prestige and privilege that has been given to us. It is also for our future generations to uphold and instill. This is me again, Sky, your Lacochera, saying it's better to be wise than to be a slave.
Considered as the second-class component city of the province of Negros Occidental Philippines, known as the home of historical and natural treasures. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the city of Bago! Located 21 kilometers south of the provincial capital Bacolod, Bago City comprises 6.63% of the population of the entire Negros Occidental, making it the third most populous city in the province. Bago City is known as the home of historical and natural treasures, owing to its contribution to the colorful history of the province of Negros Occidental and the country. And its beautiful scenery and abundance in flora and fauna, making it a good ecotourism destination. But what makes Baguio City successful and progressive lies in its beautiful history. Between the years 18,000 and 1898, the inhabitants of Baguio were among those who suffered tremendously under the Spanish tyranny, injustice, and oppression. The social condition finally led to the Great Revolt on November 5, 1898, when on that day, General Juan Araneta rallied his people in the struggle for freedom. On that fateful day, Araneta mobilized his men and marched to the capital Bacolod. It was almost dusk when they reached the destination. The Spanish Governor Castro and his staff sighted through telescopes an army of 2,000 Negrenses with weapons. They described it as a thick formations of men heavily armed with rifles and blistering bayonets and pulling some cannons. Governor Castro sent Luzuriaga to mediate with Araneta. The general refused. When the governor realized that no reinforcement would be coming, he and his men finally surrendered. The surrender document was signed and Negros finally got their freedom back. But there is a twist to that historic chapter. The revolutionaries have barely enough firearms against the Spanish troops, carrying only a few rifles. Rifles carved out of wood and coconut fronds. The troops create cannons made of bamboo and rolled amakan. The Spanish were fooled that they were heavily armed. The enemies were defeated, not a single blood was shed. Every 5 de Noviembre, the locals pay tribute to General Araneta, and his remains located at the heart of the town. People of Baguio will forever be grateful to the man who gave them their freedom. As they celebrate their freedom during the festival, Bagonhons participated in the competition for the loudest cannon. Sigabong sang mga kanyon is a tradition that started in 1996. Cinco de Noviembre played significant role in the history of Negros, since it was the day that hacienderos and sugarcane workers, or sacadas, fought together in battle. This commemoration is not only to honor both Generals Lacson and Araneta, but also to the countless sugar workers who remain nameless but are heroes just the same. Through the celebration of Al Cinco de Noviembre, may the ideals of those heroes remain steadfast in the hearts of the Negrenses.
Hello everyone, I am Alejo, a photographer and a vlogger. I am now in front of Negros Occidental Provincial Park in Lagoon, where the provincial capitol building is located. This is the site of annual 5 de Noviembre celebration of the province, which obviously falls every 5th day of November. What is 5 de Noviembre? Let me guide you to a tour of the 4 nearby cities, which were the famous historical sites of the so-called bloodless overthrow of the ruling Spanish colonizers by the natives, which happened in the year 1898. Our trip will begin with this marker in front of Capitol Park in Lagoon in Lacson Street, Bacolod City. And our first destination is Talisay City in northern part of Negros Occidental. This is Lacson Street in Bacolod, and this will lead us to Talisay City. The street is named after General Anesito Lacson, who is a native of Talisay. There's a narrow road besides nature's resort and highway leading to Talisay City proper. These signages will lead us to the ancestral house of General Anesito Lacson. And this is the house of General Anesito Lacson. Who is General Anesito Lacson? He is a rich sugarcane planter of Talisay who led the Northern Negros Revolutionary Army in the revolt against the Spanish rule in Negros in the year 1898. He served as the only president of the short-lived Negros Republic. Let's move first to Silay City. We are now in 5 de Noviembre Street in Silay City, and this marker will tell us how the revolt of the locals started in the northern part of Negros Occidental. I am now in front of the replica of the drugstore that served as the front of financial donation of the supporters of revolution in 5 de Noviembre Street in Silay City. I am now passing by Matabang Bridge, the site of the Battle of the Guardia Civil and the native revolutionaries from northern Negros. I'm back in Bacolod City and will be going to the southern part of Negros Occidental. I'm on Araneta Street, which will lead all the way to Bago City, the hometown of Juan Araneta, popularly known as Tan Juan, short for Capitan Juan. This is the most prominent landmark when you arrive in the city proper, the monument of Juan Araneta at the City Plaza, which also houses the Ramon Torres Memorial Coliseum. This is illustration of Juan Araneta is taken from the 5 de Noviembre children's book written by Father Rene Javillana S.J. and illustrated by Felix Mago Miguel and Jason J. Moss. This is historical storytelling in the perspective of the children. To cap our trip here in Bago, here is the ancestral house of Juan Araneta, which is now known as the Tan Juan Community Museum. Juan Araneta is a wealthy haciendero who organized a platoon of men carrying fake rifles made out of coconut husk and rolled sawali that were painted black and mounted on carts that look like cannons from afar. On November 5, 1898, they marched from Bago to Bacolod, while in Talisay, there was a battle in Matabang Bridge between the local Katipuneros and the colonial guards. At the bell tower of San Sebastian Cathedral, the lookout told the Spanish Gobernador Isidro Castro of what he saw, the marching Katipuneros from Bago with their rifles and cannons. This is the Luzuriaga House in Bacolod City, which is the site of the signing of capitulation of ruling Spanish colonial government, represented by Gobernador Isidro Castro and by the 5 de Noviembre revolutionaries. This used to be the provincial capital, which eventually became the old Bacolod City Hall.
Bagon horns unite for Bago City, shine and be all we can be. Give the world a pure bagon horn. Go Bago, go Bago. Hili, hili, tulagan ay walat diri.
Nabalaan ko ang pagpalinupok sa mga kanyon diri sa Bago.
Kilala ko siya, tungod siya ang hero sang Bago City.
Mga activities na gina-celebrate every November, una na da is ang civic parade, kagang sigabong sa mga kanyon, wherein ang mga officials ang Bago gaupo dada. Kagang napagid gani mega? Fancy drill. Ang gina-participatean sang kinailaing balang eskwelahan.
In the early morning, 5th of November 1898, General Juan Anacleto Araneta led his army to march towards Bacolod City, the seat of the Spanish government in the island of Negros. Maayong adlaw, Negros. Magandang araw, Negros. And good day, Negros. And welcome to Bago City, the home of historical and natural resources. Today, you will know how Al 5 de Noviembre has all started. Tara, samahan niyo ako at silipin natin ang Al 5 de Noviembre, the Millenials Perspective, looking back on November 5, 1898. Paano nga ba nagsimula ang Al 5 de Noviembre? According to Wikipedia, the revolt began in November 5, 1898 in central and northern Negros in the morning, and by the afternoon had spread to other towns such as San Miguel, Cadiz, Silay, and Bacolod. In Silay, Lieutenant Maximiano Correa, commanding the Spanish garrison, had 10 Spanish cazadores or hunters and 7 Filipino silvadores. They were entrenched inside the municipal building, but surrendered without a fight when they realized that the townspeople were determined to burn that building to the ground should there be resistance. The Silay Parish Priest Eulogio Saiz, a businessman named Juan Villaplana, and Jose Ledesma persuaded the Spanish forces to lay down the arms, and later, a flag similar to the design of the Filipino flag was hoisted by the victorious townspeople. In Bacolod, the governor of the province, Isidro de Castro, sent a force of 25 cazadores and 16 civil guards to engage a swarm of rebels seen camping near the Matabang River. After a brief skirmish, they withdraw. The governor decided to make a stand in the Bacolod convent, presently the bishop's palace, where hundreds of Spanish families had taken refuge. He waited for the attack, but it did not come. Fearing for the lives and that of their families, the Spanish governor Isidro de Castro agreed to sign an act of capitulation or surrender to the local revolutionary leaders on November 6, 1898. In the early morning of November 5, 1898, General Juan Anacleto Araneta of Bago City led his army to march towards Bacolod City, the seat of Spanish government in the island of Negros. The rebels advanced from Bacolod. Anicito Lacson, a rich landlord from Talisay, and Nicolas Goles, a deputy commander, approached from the north, crossing the Mandalagan River. While Araneta, with thousands of boldly men, took positions at the Lupit River in the southeast of Bacolod. Hundreds of men carried rifles made of wood and coconut fronds, and pushed carabao carts loaded with cannons, rolled out of sawali, or locally known as amakan, painted in dark color to appear real.
The bluff worked. The Spanish governor Isidro de Castro was persuaded that it was useless to defend the capital. So to prevent from ahat nga kamatayon or sure death, the Spaniards decided that it was game over. It was the end of century-old abuse of power in this part of the Philippines. They surrendered. The day after the signing of Acta de Capitulación, or Acts of Surrender by the Spanish government and its military forces, the Negrense revolutionary leaders gathered to organize a Negros Republic. Cinco de Noviembre is known to Negrenses as a celebration of a one-day bloodless revolution that freed them from the bondage of Spanish colonial power. Kahilwayan sa Negros! What is the significance of the date November 5 or el 5 de Noviembre? In Bago City, a celebration known locally as Sigabong sa mga Kanyon or loud explosions of cannons is held by the city government of Bago to reminisce the revolution of Bagueños and Negrenses to gain independence from Spain. Every year, the cannons kept firing, producing sounds that could mean freedom. Indeed, Bago City is a treasure, rich in history that all Bagueños should be proud of. This is Melker Fernandez. And this is my El 5 de Noviembre Diary. Boom! Bago City!
Go, Bago, dance in the light of a brand new day. Bagon horns unite for Bago City, shine and be all we can be. Give the world a pure Bagon horn heart. Go, Bago, go, Bago, go.
What's up mga kaulol? So for today's video, we will look back to al 5 de Noviembre 1898.
Ate, ano yung pinapanood mo?
Ito? Pagdiriwang ito sa Bago City.
Bakit po nila pinagdidiriwang yan?
Ipinagdidiriwang nila ito upang magtanaw loob sa kay Juan Araneta.
Sino po ba si Juan Araneta?
Ay, ikukwento ko na nga lang sa'yo. Ang dami mo kasing tanong. Teka, kukunin ko lang yung libro. Sa mga ika-alauna ng hapon, nagsimulang maglakad ang mga revolusyonaryong pwersa sa Bago sa Bacolod.
Ganda kayo, di magsimula tayo sa paglalakad.
Mayroon silang tatlong mga armas sa kanila. Isang Remington rifle, isang rifle ng Mauser, at isang baril.
Magbasid-basid, baka may kalaban.
Mga kalaban!
Sila ay may dala-dalang kanyon upang matakot ang mga Kastila na nakipaglaban sa kanila at sumuko ang mga ito.
Podemos simplemente rendernos.
No podemos no pelear.
Pero no tenemos nada contra de ellos. Diyan lang kayo.
Pinayuhan ni Juan Araneta ang mga Kastila na sumuko upang maiwasan ang pagdanak ng dugo.
Kung susuko kayo, walang madadanak na dugo. Nasa sa inyo kung gusto nyong lumaban o suko na lang kayo.
Ang Espanyol na gobernador ng Isla ng Negros, si Don Isidro Castro, at ng kanyang mga kasamahan ay sumuko sa puwersa sa ilalim ni Aniceto Lacson at Juan Araneta noong Nobyembre 6, 1878. At nagtagumpay nga si Juan Araneta.
Mabuhay mga taga-Bago!
Mabuhay!
At doon na nga nagtatapos ang kwento ni Juan. Hi.
Buglas ang tawag sa isla bago dumating ang mga Espanyol noong 1565. Tinawag nila itong Negros dahil sa mga katutubong Aitas na ang ibig sabihin maliliit at maitim ng mga tao. Noong 1572, naitatag ang unang bayan na Binalbagan. Dito itinatag ng mga misyonaryong Agustino ang simbahan at pinalaganap ang Kristyanismo sa buong isla ng Negros taong 1575. Naging sentro na buhay espiritual sa bayan ng Bago si San Juan Bautista, patron ng simbahang Katoliko. Lumipas man ang panahon, hanggang ngayon ay nanatiling matatag ang panata at debosyon ng mga taga-Bago. Maraming karating isla ang nabighani sa Negros dahil sa lumalago nitong industriya ng asukal mula pa noong 1840. Sumiklab ang revolusyon noong 1896 dahil sa kagustuhan ng mga Espanyol na sakupin at pamunuan ang Pilipinas, at ito ay umabot hanggang sa mga isla ng Panay at Negros. Noong November 5, 1898, 5 de Nobyembre, isang mensahero mula sa Talisay ang nagdala ng balita na ang mga revolusyonaryo at mga kazadores ay handa nang makipaglaban. Alauna ng hapon ang mga hukbo sa panguna ni General Juan Araneta at Anisito Lacson na nagsanib pwersa laban sa mapang-aping Kastila ay nagmarcha mula Bago patungong Bacolod. Kulang man sa mga armas, ay nakaisip si General Juan Araneta ng paraan. Ipinag-utos niyang magputol ng mga nipa para gawing mga baril at isukbit sa kanya-kanyang mga balikat. Ang mga sawali naman ay ginawang kanyon at pininturahan ng itim. Nang makarating na ang mga hukbo, ay pinayuhan nila ang mga Espanyol na sumuko na lamang kung ayaw nila dumanak pa ng dugo. Ang Spanish governor sa Isla ng Negros na si Don Isidro Castro ay sumuko noong November 6, 1898. Kaya dahil sa kabayanihan ni General Juan Araneta at Anisito Lacson, nagimalaya ang Negros. Si General Juan Anacleto Araneta ay pinanganak noong July 13, 1852. Siya ay anak ni Romualdo Araneta at Aguida Torres. Mula sa Molo, Iloilo, nagtungo sila ng Negros at dito na nanirahan ng tuluyan. Nagtungo si General Juan Araneta sa Europa at dito siya natuto paggamit ng bagong makinarya at mga gamit pang agrikultura. Kalaunan ay nag-angkat siya ng kabyawan o sugar mill mula Inglaterra upang magamit sa kanyang asyenda. Sa paglipas ng panahon, naging malaking ambag sa ekonomiya ng bayan ang produksyon ng asukal. Noong 1904, itinalaga si General Juan Araneta bilang isa sa mga commissioners to the St. Louis Exposition upang itanghal ang iba't ibang uri ng mga palay at iba pang agrikultural na produkto mula Negros at Panay. Ang lahat ng eksibisyon pagtatanghal ay binigyan ng pagpapahalaga, kaya naman ito'y pinarangalan ng medalyong ginto at pilak. Pinaganda niya rin ang Buenos Aires Mountain Resort upang magamit ng kanyang malaking pamilya. Kinalaunan ay binigay niya ito sa kanyang anak na si Maria Araneta Mati. Namatay si Tan Juan Araneta noong October 3, 1924 at naiwan niya ang kanyang pamilyang may 25 na miyembro. Taong 1966, naging lungsod ang bayan ng Bago. Binubuo ito ng 24 barangays na matatagpuan 21.5 kilometers sa kalibugang bahagi ng Negros Occidental. Nang dahil sa kabayanihan ni General Juan Araneta at Anisito Lacson, hanggang ngayon ay tinatamasa pa din ng mga Negrense ang kalayaan, lalo tigit ng mga Bagunhon. Halina tuklasin at tangkilikin ay yung mayabong at tumitingkad na turismo. Makiisa sa pagpaunlad sa ating lungsod, masidhing pagyakap sa Kristyanismo at pagiging makadiyos nating mga Bagunhon. Higit sa lahat, ang maayos na pangangalaga sa kalikasan upang mapanatili ang ganda ng likas na yaman ng Bago City.
certificate of appreciation is given to Mr. Rodolfo M. Riveche for his untiring services as judge in the El Cinco de Noviembre Millenials Perspective rap competition as part of the 122nd El Cinco de Noviembre celebration. Given this 5th day of November 2020, Bago City, Negros Occidental, Philippines. Signed, Mayan B. Fortos, Senior Tourism Operations Officer Designate, Officer in Charge, Tourism Affairs Section. Signed, Clemente del Castillo, Cultural Officer Designate, Director, Balay ni Tanwan Community Museum, and Nicolas M. Yulo, City Mayor. The same certificate is given to Mr. Jared Pareño Guasena. The same certificate is given to Ms. Tanya Lopez. Certificate of appreciation is given to Mr. Rodolfo M. Riveche for his untiring services as judge in the El Cinco de Noviembre Millennials Perspective Spoken Words Poetry Competition as part of the 122nd El Cinco de Noviembre celebration. Given this 5th day of November 2020, Bago City, Negros Occidental, Philippines. Signed, Mayan B. Fortos, Senior Tourism Operations Officer Designate, Officer in Charge, Tourism Affairs Section. Signed, Clemente del Castillo, Cultural Officer Designate, Director, Balay ni Tanwan Community Museum, and Nicolas M. Yulo, City Mayor. The same certificate is given to Ms. Tanya Lopez. The same certificate is given to Mr. Jared Pareño Guasena. Certificate of appreciation is given to Ms. Chona Villaluna Goshauco for her untiring services as judge in the El Cinco de Noviembre Millennials Perspective Vlog Competition as part of the 122nd El Cinco de Noviembre celebration. Given this 5th day of November 2020, Bago City, Negros Occidental, Philippines. Signed, Mayan B. Fortos, Senior Tourism Operations Officer Designate, Officer in Charge, Tourism Affairs Section. Signed, Clemente del Castillo, Cultural Officer Designate, Director, Balay ni Tanwan Community Museum, and Nicolas M. Yulo, City Mayor. The same certificate is given to Ms. Abigail K. D. Pabular. The same certificate is given to Mr. Ronnie Baldonado.
We are very thankful for the overwhelming response of our millennials for this event through the numerous entries that were submitted. We actually had a hard time screening all the videos, but of course we will only be getting 3 major prize winners and 5 consolation prize winners of 2,000 pesos each. And just like with the Millennial Rap and Spoken Words, our participants for the Millennial Vlog will each be getting a certificate of participation. Let me thank our judges, who I'm sure really had a difficult time choosing the best ones. Mr. Ronnie Baldonado, Ms. Abigail K. D. Pabular, and Ms. Chona Villaluna Goshauco, the chairman of the Board of Judges. I believe Mr. Rudy Reveche and Ms. Tanya Lopez are still with us. Hello again. Can you hear me, Miss Tanya? All right, so let me just ask you this question. As cultural and historical personalities in the province, what message do you want to impart to our millennials? Miss Tanya, go ahead. I believe Miss Tanya, you are muted. All right, we will ask Tito Rudy first, and then we'll get back to Miss Tanya. Tito Rudy!
Congratulations to Bago City for initiating this. I watched the video vlogging competition, and I think that is one avenue where our millennials really enjoy. You have about 28 entries, and so that's something, no? That speaks that our young people are hungry to share, to tell our stories, and it's a very good initiative. I hope that by next year we will come up with other avenues, other platforms wherein our young people can really contribute in the preservation of our history and culture. Once again, congratulations, Bago City.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rudy Reveche. And I hope you enjoyed your experience. Let's not prolong the excitement any longer. Here are the winners for the Millennial Vlog competition. Our third place winner, winning 5,000 pesos plus certificate, is Skyla Andrea Mati. Congratulations. Moving on to our second place winner. He or she will receive a certificate and 7,000 pesos in cash. Congratulations to July Herbacio. And now to receive a certificate and 10,000 pesos in cash. This year's champion for the Millennial Vlog is Alejo Antonio Mondejar. Congratulations! Here are our 5 consolation prize winners. We appreciate all your efforts in sending your respective entries for the different events. The Negrense talent is truly admirable. Our congratulations to all of you. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our city officials, led by the Honorable Nicolas M. Yulo, our city mayor, Vice Mayor Ramon D. Torres, together with all the members of our Sangguniang Pangungsod, for the all-out support that they have extended in making this virtual Al 5 de Noviembre possible. To all our viewers, thank you very much for joining us in our celebration. May the burning fire of Al 5 de Noviembre guide us in these most challenging times. I'm Judeline Lirazan, proud Bagonhon. This has been Al 5 de Noviembre, the virtual edition.
Happy Al 5 de Noviembre to you all. 122 years ago, our forefathers, led by General Juan Anacleto Araneta, led the Negros Revolution.
We simplify the celebration, but we continue to amplify the benediction and enthusiasm to unite and together work for the attainment of the common good. We shall take inspiration from our ancestors and move forward to win this battle of our generation.